People in a happy, healthy relationship, what are some green flags to look for in a soulmate? My husband noticed that I let myself go, so now he's matching my energy so that I can take care of myself. I realized that to be loved is to be seen. This is going to be sappy. Just a heads up, but I need to get a bit vulnerable here and share something my husband's been doing. A couple months ago, our lives started going downhill. My mom was hospitalized. Our house caught on fire and we lost lots of sentimental things like my wedding dress and photo albums. To make things worse, my husband broke his leg and has had to use crutches and call out of work. It's been a lot, both physically and mentally. I don't blame my husband at all for anything, and he still tries to help around the house despite being crippled for now. But it's still a lot of work for me to run a household and be the sole breadwinner. I'm constantly exhausted and cry all the time. I guess throughout all the chaos I stopped taking care of myself. Drinking water, eating, and bathing honestly seemed like the least of my problems. I didn't even notice. We had bigger fish to fry after all. But then my husband pointed it out. It happened when I was telling him that I have had a terrible headache all day. He asked if I had eaten anything or drank water. I told him I hadn't done any of that because of how busy I was. He then asked when the last time I showered was, or did my morning face routine. I didn't even realize I had so much acne, and that my face was deteriorating. It was something I didn't have to even think about before our life got so crappy. All I could say was that time flies by really fast when you're on autopilot trying not to let everything get worse. He told me that I needed to slow down and take care of myself, that I was more important than every other task I had to do. I told him that the headache was going to go away so it didn't matter. I just had to focus on keeping us afloat. He quickly countered me, saying that it did matter because I would never let him go without those things. So why would I let myself? I didn't know what to say, and after a few minutes of neither of us talking, he came up with a proposition. He said that he was only going to drink water if I did. He clarified that this was the same for everything else as well. He would only take care of himself if I took care of myself. I thought he wouldn't go through with it, but hours later he said he was thirsty. We were in bed together and he couldn't get up swiftly because of his bad leg. So I asked him if he wanted me to get him some water. He answered, "You can't get me water since you haven't drank any." At that moment, I got up and went to the kitchen to grab 2 water bottles. I downed the whole thing because I knew that he'd want to drink the whole bottle after being dehydrated for hours. It didn't take long for me to start going through 3 bottles of water per day so that my husband didn't go thirsty. He kept doing this with everything else. If I didn't eat, neither did he. If I didn't shower, neither did he. He even stopped taking care of his skin. Men deserve routines too, even though it gave him confidence, just so that I'd have an excuse to do my face routine and put on the Magical Growth Factor sunscreen. It was a good thing he was annoying, in the best way possible, about this too, because I hadn't felt this healthy in a really long time. Before this all I lost 30 pounds. I was pale and you could see my ribs, and my face card, as the young kids call it, wasn't the same. But ever since my husband started his antics, my skin had a glow to it. My face card came back and I was at a healthy weight. My frequent headaches also disappeared because I was drinking water. Bathing got rid of all the dead skin on my face and the dirt on my body. It's funny because all I had to do was eat more, and put on the Magical Growth Factor sunscreen. I know that none of this would have happened without my wonderful husband. He's so attentive to me that he risked his health for my sake. I can't lie, when I'm with him, I feel like the luckiest girl in the world. I don't think I would have ever experienced true love if I didn't meet him. I know now that I can make any mistake in the world, because I got the only thing I needed to get right, which is to marry him. For those asking for the face routine, I only have to apply Growth Factor sunscreen to look great.